And it's my Porsche 718 Boxster GTS 4.0 which brings us here today. This is more or less the swan song of the Boxster as we've come to know it, as Porsche has confirmed its all-electric replacement, previewed by the Mission R, will arrive in 2024, thus putting 25 sonorous, mostly 6-cylinder years of the Boxster Cayman era to a close. I've been fortunate to have a few of these over the years, including a Cayman, Boxster S, and Spider, and Nick's had a GT4, and my assumption that the 6-cylinder wouldn't be around much longer compelled me to order a car for keeps. I was on the fence about a 6-speed until learning that the PDK delivers more torque and hits 60 miles an hour in 3.7 seconds, half a second quicker than the manual, so I went with the PDK. And yes, I went a little nuts on the options and colors. Python Green, which is the launch color, and an update of Viper Green, over Espresso Natural Leather with green stitching. And I do it all again, with the exception of the leather sun visors, which are plastered with hideous plastic airbag warning labels, so there's really no point. The Burmester sound system is detailed and rich with fantastic imaging, and adaptive cruise control is flawless in LA traffic. I took delivery in December 2020, just before COVID turned the world upside down, and love the car as you'll see. This engine is an evolution of the turbocharged 6 presently found in the 911 Carrera, minus the turbos but with a liter more displacement, and is broadly shared with the 718 GT4 and Spider. It's rated at 395 horsepower, 20 horses fewer than the 718 GT4 and Spider, but with an identical 317 pound-feet of torque when spec'd with the PDK transmission. Fuel economy is surprisingly great. I've seen 18 miles to the gallon city and up to 29 on the highway, no doubt due in part to adaptive cylinder control that will shut down one bank of cylinders for economy when not needed. Porsche active suspension management, torque vectoring, and the mechanical limited slip differential are all standard on the GTS. I think that there is this perception between the Boxster Cayman being the lesser choice to the 911. It started to shift somewhat with GT4.
I disagree.
How about now with GT4 RS?
Now it's that right. I think that is the first time it's actually shifted.
Right.
And I can speak to that because I had a GT4.
Right.
And I personally, even though I was the one that bought the car, felt slighted and felt like I didn't have a real Porsche. Even though the car was incredibly capable, I loved driving it. I tracked it at Laguna Seca. The car was fantastic. There was literally no fault I could find with the car other than it's not a 911. And there's just something
about a 911
that eats away at you when you have that car only. If I had that and a 911, I don't think I would have thought about it as much. I couldn't afford both.
Right.
And like you said, it's this narrative that is driven by automotive journalists, which then in turn enthusiasts run this narrative, and it just becomes something that plagues you in your head, and you think like I'm an imposter in this car community that I want to be a part of. God, this thing sounds incredible.
Yeah, it sounds beautiful. I think that for me, that was a good one.
That was, yeah.
That's electronics saving you right there.
Oh, man. Well, you said you wanted to drive faster today.
Right.
You're doing it.
I think that, I think for me in LA, there's something about a 911 in LA. I think it's partly because so few of the people who have them in LA bought them to really drive.
Right.
So it just becomes a status symbol. And so I think for me, like when you're really speccing, like when you really went about speccing this car, buying a Boxster to me kind of says, to some people it says you're a hairdresser. I think in LA it says that you're really a motoring enthusiast who really wants the car for the car. Like I don't think that many people are buying a 4-liter GTS. because it's something to be seen in. Because there's really no cachet in LA to driving a Boxster or a Cayman.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately true. I think it's stupid and unwarranted. And I think it's just kind of an elitist approach at these cars, because this car is, I mean, I haven't driven it yet, but this feels incredibly capable. All right, upon initial moments in the car, it feels great.
Was he just? He's giving us the stink eye.
Okay, guys. So we were taking some pictures of the GTS, and we saw 4 cyclists heading up Las Flores Canyon here in Malibu, and they were followed by an Escalade, which looked like a security guard, both following them very slowly and filming them. It was only an LA kind of moment.
And we figured out that the billionaire was the one with the pot belly, and the assistant who was literally had his arm on his back.
On his lower back, pushing him up the mountain, which I've never seen before, and it was incredible. We will put some B-roll footage of that because we got a little.
So how's it feel, Nick?
I mean, it's really capable. It feels, I mean, God, it feels great. It feels so good. This is my first time driving a Boxster of any.
So you've never driven a Boxster before?
No.
Oh wow.
Never. I mean, I had the Cayman,
right.
GT4. This feels amazing.
It's really stiff, right? Like you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. You didn't have a roof.
No, it feels very planted. It feels very strong through these corners, and it feels like it would take a lot of work for me to get this car in a bad way. I think that you'd have to really kind of fuck up badly to.
You mean like I did on the way up the hill?
Yeah, that was fun though. Okay, so the GTS, 395 horsepower.
Yep.
And 309 foot-pounds of torque.
Ooh, I need to look that up.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Okay.
The PDK has a 0 to 60 of 3.8, so it's a sub 4-second 0 to 60, which,
yeah,
I mean, that's just fast.
Nice. There's a big rock right there. See it?
Copy. Will not hit that. Did not hit that.
I'm gonna shut up for a minute.
Little help.
Yep. So, what are your thoughts?
Man, it's great.
Yeah.
I came into driving this car weary of it, thinking that I wasn't gonna like it as much as I did. Part of that being what we talked about, which was just that there's a narrative driven about this car inherently that pushes people away from it, whether consciously or subconsciously, I think. Right. And maybe that's driven by Porsche, where they want to get you into the more expensive 911. I don't know where that kind of all lies. But for me, like I've always leaned more towards the GT or the GTRS cars. So for me, Porsches have never really been about like a daily driving experience. Right. They've really been for like, this is what I'm gonna do on the weekend. I'm gonna go to Angeles Crest, or I'm gonna go to Malibu. And I think with this car, and you and I were talking about it, and you can speak to it a lot more as it is your car, but this is a car that you can daily drive,
right? Yeah.
Take through the canyons, does 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds. You can put the top down, which is why our hair is messy today, and it's just like an all-around great experience, and it handles like nothing. I mean, it really is a fantastic car. Yeah. And this is what I'll say. I have a whole new respect for this lineup in general.
So what are we going to shoot next?
That's a great. Oh,
Yeah, we've got the Audi. Got a
I
little
forgot.
e-tron coming.
Yeah, we have an e-tron.
Yeah.
One of my best friends just bought a Audi e-tron. I think it probably has 300 miles on it.
Awesome.
And he's going to let us use it.
That's cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
so we'll do some electric SUV driving and see what that's like.
And then we also have an NSX coming up.
I know that. I'm so excited about that.
A Gen 1 NSX.
You know what's funny? When you told me we had an NSX to drive, I didn't even think about Gen 2. And then I don't remember what happened. Like a Bring Your Trailer NSX came on, a Gen 2, and I was like, oh my God, I hope Joe wasn't talking about a Gen 2 because I don't give a shit about that.
That's a Gen
And I
1.
almost texted you.
It's a Gen 1.
Okay, great.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching very much.
Like and subscribe. e-tron coming, NSX coming. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys. Boom.